Keep on going on into the next
They,
step.
they
Yeah.
want to do that, but at the end of the, knowing the facts about this and not this anecdotal stuff that man we are passed down or that June Bloomberg or Ron and them to no, getting informed individuals around you is going to be very necessary. Why? Because your mind is one of the most important things to keep during this whole process.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't keep this thing on just that loose water, man, or that shit. Nah, we need facts.
Right.
That's what I enjoy about being a man. It's like
Right.
practicality, logic, the facts. What do the numbers say? I have this thing where I say, math is undefeated. What does the numbers say? What is the thresholds?
Mm-hmm.
What are the benchmarks? What does all that look like? Okay, cool. Am I in this box or that box? All right, boom. Now I know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know how to adjust to the situation.
Okay.
And because I know, then I know what I can do. But if I'm ignorant, if I don't have the necessary or the right people in my corner or the support system, and again, I'm not saying support system ain't your family. I'm talking about people who know people who can do things. Then man, I could be lost in the end.
Let me ask you a question. So, I just made a statement earlier, but I want you to give your honest feeling about it.
Okay.
Um, Man is not happy.
Uh-huh.
Man looks up, sees that he's gonna have to pay this, this, and that.
Uh-huh.
He's not, or let's just, yeah. So he's just like, okay, well, you know what? Let me just leave.
Uh-huh.
That's the noble thing to do, right?
Right.
You no
Right.
longer want to be. That's the noble thing to do.
Right.
But I might have to pay this.
Right.
Or I might have to do that 3 to 5 years,
Right.
or stay on, grandmama's couch, or eat
Right.
cereal, as you were
Right.
just saying earlier.
Right.
What would you pick?
Beforehand, I stayed. I stayed. I did 15 years. I stayed because I didn't want to be that guy who was on grandmama's couch. I didn't want to be that guy eating cereal. I didn't want to be that guy that split up the family. Was I happy? Hell no, I wasn't. But I didn't want to be that guy.
Hmm.
But I think essentially the choice was made for me,
Right.
which I am happy about and I am glad and I am warmly embrace. And what I will say is sometimes that little bit of fear that we have about a situation is false evidence appearing real. You
That's not
actually
a little
can
bit of fear when you talking about eating cereal and being on grandmama's couch and
no,
3 to 5. That's not a little bit of fear. Okay. Okay.
no. Because all along the lines, all along the way, and that's why when we went earlier when we was talking about handle your shit, get your shit together. When you got things situated and sorted out to such a degree in your life,
Hmm.
where it's like, okay, I may take an L here, or L here, but you know what? I'm good with that. I'm a grinder. I'm gonna
Okay.
be all right.
Okay.
Then yeah, I can do that. Let's rock.
Okay.
Let's roll with it. But it depends on the man. Now, at that point in time, when the decision was made for me, oh let's rock, let's roll with it. And I
Right.
tell you right now, by the grace of God or something like that, my money is tripled.
But that was a 15-year run that you would say that you did, right? You didn't say that in the beginning. You were just
And
like,
it's
okay, let
right,
me go.
but at the same point in
That's the
time,
hindsight part.
that's the hindsight. But
Okay.
during the 15-year run, I didn't say that. However,
Right. Right.
what I will offer is that I was always working towards a place and a spot.
Break that down because I don't understand that.
So I was still in school. I was working 60 hours,
Okay.
still going to school.
Okay.
Went back, finished the undergrad. Went and got the grad degree. Went
Okay.
and got the license and the supervision.
Okay.
Started the practice. Built the practice up.
Are you saying this all in preparation for you bought the part, or you just saying you just rocking and doing your thing? Because I think that I don't
Right.
want to
Because
confuse.
no, the thing is, as I am rocking and doing what I'm supposed to do,
Uh,
I am positioning myself in a place where if things do happen, I am prepared.
mm-hmm.
But when if I am just lollygagging, just man farting around,
Mhm.
and not handling my business like I'm supposed to,
And want to leave. You
and want to
can't
leave,
do. You can't do that.
you
Yeah.
can't do that. What position are you in? And again, that's a practical thing. You aren't in this place to do so. Yes, you are at the mercy of individuals that you don't want to be at. And that is not a
Real.
fun place.
That's real.
As a man, come on, bro.
Mhm.
I've seen guys get out of jail, meet somebody while they was in jail, get out of jail, go live with her for a little bit.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, life happens. She get mad or so like that. She calls the police. Guess what? He's got to get out of there. His name is
Mm.
not on the lease or the mortgage.
That's
His
work.
name isn't on any of the cars. So
That's
he's
work.
got to vacate. That's the truth. It's the truth. That's why you have to make sure you got your stuff in order.
I just gotta shake my head. I mean, it's just no, but that's I that's real. I think the biggest portion that I was looking towards as we were having the conversation, I want to make sure that we're bringing that enlightenment on. Okay, you're saying that I'm just gonna sum it up real quickly.
Okay.
If you're at a crossroads,
Right.
you have to if you're a man
Right.
and you're the breadwinner inside of this space, we're just going to
Right.
talk to the men for a second.
Right.
You have to accept the responsibility of you're going to get your butt kicked for the next 3 to 5 years, most likely,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to stay in on, you know, stand on that, know that it's coming, walk through it, but be able to reach inside yourself to basically say, okay, you know what? I can pull through this. I can reconstruct this. Um, you know, and this is for particularly the people who are probably walking in purpose, I would say, because if you don't
Yeah.
even know what you're supposed to do here in life, you have a whole nother dynamic that we'll talk about another.
You got another problem going on.
So that's what you're just saying, like, yo, just it's gonna be tough for you for a minute, dog.
Yeah. I never see the thing is that I think and here's the thing, because there is no clear cut answer on either way. We made the statement whether they should stay or go, but let's put a couple little bit of caveats to it, a little bit of variables to it. Things are becoming more distant within the relationship,
Right.
becoming more toxic. You're having more arguments. The kids are seeing this stuff. So people are coming home 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. There is no respect in the home no more.
Mm.
All of a sudden, that
Mm.
you've had a couple little bit of rub ups against each other. No police were
Mm.
called or anything like that. It's
Mm.
becoming more hectic within that.
Okay.
Damn right, yeah. Or I mean, to the point where you caught one of those diseases,
Ooh,
and you know it wasn't from you.
disease. Mm.
My brothers. That's why I try to impress upon them is that these things can emote something within you
Mm-hmm.
that you don't want to face in a court of law.
Mm.
And just for your own safety, your own
Mm.
sake, knowing the laws of the land,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that if a threat is made against an individual in any kind of way, well,
Right.
not in Georgia,
Right.
because the laws are different in Georgia, but
Right.
in Tennessee, in other states, and so like that, they can come remove you from the home.
Mm.
And so knowing that that is a possibility that can happen. Again, handle your business. Make sure that you got your ducks in a row. It's not an easy route. It's not an easy going, but it can be hard and it can be damn hard.
Mm.
You have a choice in that.
Right. Right. Man, listen, we were supposed to be finished talking, but we supposed to. I think we just accidentally did a part 2. Okay. All right.
That's
So
a
part
cap.
3, what we're gonna do is we're gonna.
It's outtakes. It's outtakes, man. It's
Yeah.
outtakes. It's outtakes. Yeah.
Well,
Again,
no.
that's the thing. Everybody's in a different situation,
Right.
and you are where you are today because of the decisions you made yesterday. You know, nobody. It's like preparation. Nobody plans to get divorced or anything like that. Nobody actually wants to. I mean, I hope they don't go into a marriage just saying, "I want to do this" or "I want to be split from it."
Right.
But with human behavior, human existence is always a possibility,
Right.
especially in this day and age. And because of the narrative. I will call it. I'm gonna go out there and say it. The zeitgeist, the spirit of the age.
Okay.
Yes, very much a possibility these days. Yes, African American women are more than 50% likely to file for divorces themselves. Yes. So when you know the facts and know the numbers on it, it's not to scare you, but what it is to inform you of where we are living at right now. What
Well,
is
I heard
happening?
the stat of 83% of women file for divorce.
Yeah,
I
I was
heard
being
between
nice.
83 and 84 and 85.
I
So
was
that
being
means only
nice.
15% of men file for divorce. Normally it's women that file.
Right,
And then the laws can tend to lean in the favor when it comes to children. And I mean, it's all the way up until the age of 14. I don't want to go legal again because
right.
I'm not by any means legal counsel, but um, a guy, excuse me, until the child is 14 years old, that's the
Right,
only time that they state who they want to be with.
right.
14 years? It looks like for 14 years,
Hmm.
you're an option,
Yeah,
but you want a strong man or a strong black man, or you want the dad or you want the father. But we have to look at a glaring fact that for 14 years, it sounds like we float around whether we matter or not. And literally, you have to almost. And I want to rest on the fact of the children, because that is a major factor. When you're breaking up family, you're basically
uh-huh. Yeah.
tearing tearing two worlds apart. And in the meantime, what has already existed for men is that in this world, the woman automatically, the mother automatically, she matters more in the child's life.
I'm gonna throw something at you. Stay right there. So I don't have no issue with Kevin Samuels, not whatsoever. I enjoy the commentary that he's bringing forth and the conversations that we're having. So besides him asking, dress size, weight, height, and all that kind of stuff, there's one question he asks a lot of times during his broadcast is, do you want to work after you've had children? Yes or no?
Mhm.
Some say no. Okay, where you live at? I may live in Dallas, Texas. Okay, cool.
Okay.
How much would your husband need to make to take care of you, the two kids, and himself in Dallas, Texas? And maybe 6 or 7 figures. No. Give me an exact figure. Maybe 150, 175. Not in Dallas. We will probably need $250,000. $250,000 he needs to be making to take care of you. Now, guess this. Now, take that $250,000 a year and put that in the context of someone going through a divorce. We have an individual who has not been working and who has children. So then possibly we have alimony is on the table, and we have child support is on the table. Brothers, you got to start thinking. You've got to start thinking
Mm.
about these things. It's not all about, man, how good she feels, man, and how good she smiles and everything like that. But the truth is, what does she bring to the table for you?
Ah, because if not, you might lose it all, yo. I mean, depending upon what state you in and what the laws
That's
are.
what I'm saying.
And that's why that we are going to bring back on an attorney to kind of just speak towards this as well. This was an accidental part two if I ever put it out, because I might just keep this on the side because we were just really having side conversation.
So I tell you, man.
Hey
I
man,
look,
just for the record, tell them who you are, where you
I'm
from.
James Bush from Bush Counseling Services. I'm a
That,
licensed professional therapist. And so, man, look, no, but for real,
yeah, I'll cut that part in later on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Elam, for real, look, I mean, exactly, really. That's what you see a lot of times.
That's
That's
crazy.
what you see a lot. I mean, if somebody is not working, they go and they put the numbers into a DCS calculator or, man, whatever your Department of Children's
It's
Services is in your
1975.
respective state. in state. And they say, okay, you're making this. How much is she making? Okay, she's not what? Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. There is nothing, and I've seen guys that will literally try to prolong a situation. Well, I'm gonna there, bro, there's nothing you can really do about it at that point in time.
Right.
The
Right.
law is the law. You
Right.
know, these are the things that govern it.
And I at the end of the day, I want to bring this topic up because I feel like there's actually, for some that might feel that it's advantageous for them inside of the courtroom, what it's actually doing on the back end from a psyche,
Mhm,
because most men know the stuff that you're saying. A lot of men don't know some of the stuff you're saying, if that
mhm,
makes sense, right?
mhm.
There's a fair amount in both areas, right? Um, but this is the inhibitor to why, for some ladies, why they don't see men committing, because they're like, yo, do you know I can lose everything? And so I want to really more educate people on the front end to make the right decision on the front end from a pre-marriage perspective. Go to counseling yourself, with being a therapist, of just being able to dissect. If you had to just real quickly before we go,
Mhm.
had to just throw out the top three things that, when you are dealing with in a pre-marriage state, talking to a couple, what are the top three things that you talk to with couples that they need to keep in mind?
You know I can't do three, but I'm going to give
That's
you.
what I just said. I
You
noticed
know I
like
can't.
50.
You know I can't do three. But when I go and I break it down, I want to know what crop did you came out of? Who are you?
Hmm?
Um,
Wait. You said what? Who? What crop?
I said, what crop did you come out of? Who are you? Oh, I'm straight 100 with it, bro. I mean, because it's time out, man,
Some
for
more
playing
farmer
games, man.
stuff.
Like,
Okay.
well, we're just having fun. We're just gonna get married.
Mm-hmm.
No, I want to know, is your mother and father still living? Are they still together?
Oh.
What about the aunts, the uncles, or anything like that? Have
Oh.
you seen
Oh.
examples of healthy relationships in your life? Okay,
Mm.
now I don't want to hear about Barbie and Ken and Skipper. I want to hear about, man, what have you seen of the ups, the downs, and everything? Grandma and grandpa, what all
Come
that?
on,
I
Skipper.
want to know all of that
Mhm.
because that's important. Because
Right.
then you start looking at things not just from a one-sided gender
Right.
perspective. But you
Right.
have,
Right.
I was like, when I saw my father, my daddy, and my mom, all right, but you know, they got back together. They had their hard times and so like that. So, but they got,
Right.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's helpful. I'm a little bit hopeful in there. What
Right.
crop did you come out of? Okay. So then also too, another portion of it. Then
We
like,
got what crop you came out of. Okay, hold on. Number one, what crop? Okay, go ahead. Number two, go ahead.
so two, I want to say, man, who are you? You know,
Ooh.
who are you? What have you been up to this last 10 years, or these last 6 years, or post undergrad? What have you really been up to? You know, what have you been doing? You know,
And we're
at
gonna go,
25,
deeper into, the next segment. So just this the surface, because you giving a little points into the next segment we're gonna do. So just
you know,
so
20,
what
yeah,
crop you come out of? Who
who are
are
you?
you?
It's the
And
20,
what's the
it's the third one. Okay, the third one, my favorite.
uh-uh, uh-uh,
My favorite.
uh-uh.
Expectations. I love expectations.
Ah, man. Ah, I
Love
love it.
expectations. Expectations. I want to know we're gonna have a dog? We're gonna have a cat? Who's gonna do dishes? Are we gonna wash dishes at
Mm-hmm.
night? Are we gonna wash dishes in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna have sex? What
Okay.
type of sex? How much
Okay.
sex? You know,
Okay.
I mean, are we gonna have threesomes?
Okay.
I want to know all of that. We gotta put that stuff on the table.
Not the threesomes.
Hey,
Number
we gotta put it
three.
on the table.
Number three, expectations. Do you have
Expectation.
you wanna have threesomes?
Quattro. I want to know what that money look like. Monetarily. Who taught you
Okay.
about money? Who
That's
taught you
real.
about saving? You know, who gave you that insight about, what to do with finances? Do you guys have separate accounts? Do you have joint
Spirituality.
do you have joint account? Are you a
Mhm,
tither?
mhm.
Or
Come on.
has a man robbed God?
Come You know what? I'm not doing that. You know what? We're just gonna look into that. I want to unpack that. God,
Mm,
we gonna
mm.
have to unpack
So
that.
so 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 uh
Um,
so Cinco.
so
Money,
we only had three. We only had three. You on five.
no, because Quattro was money.
Oh,
Quattro was
Quattro
money.
is my. That's
Right.
no, don't do that yet, man. Okay, all right,
Quattro was money.
okay.
But
Just real quick
Cinco,
on number five. Okay,
Cinco, five, number five, Cinco. Mm, parenting.
get off. Okay, that's it. All right, y'all.
Parenting.
We are going to roll out here because that
Parenting.
is a whole unpack monster suitcase, and then add blended family parenting. Come on,
Yeah.
okay.
Blended family
Not
parenting.
even an
And that's part
area
of
to
that.
even talk about or think about. Oh man, yes. So this is
There's so much to
the
unpack in
outtakes
there.
of the Understanding a Man podcast because we were not supposed to be talking right now. This is James Bush. He got to get out of here because we can't keep doing this.
Hey, look, all this stuff is important.
Yes,
And
sir.
what I feel like, I try to, it's like if you don't have the data about the a person or the individual, if you don't know where they're coming from, their perspectives or anything
Uh,
like that, then how are you going to even be in the battle or even the fight or run the race with them?
oh,
You can't.
that's it. Bye, y'all. Bye. Yeah.
Oh man,
Look, that's the we got to do that off of. Okay, go ahead because you're gonna keep on. You're gonna keep.
men are having these conversations now, and I think they're talking more to one another, and they're using these different platforms and the manosphere. And whether some of you stuff you agree with or not, the conversation is still being had. It's being talked about. It's being chewed on. It's being
Mm-hmm,
spit out. It's being
mm-hmm,
eaten. I mean, all these different factors are coming about it. And what happens is that before women had carte blanche because women were always talking. You know, they were always having these discussions.
okay.
Now guys are, and so now guys are realizing that, oh wait a minute, I'm a prize too. Yes, you are, bro. You are a prize.
Oh man, can you dial that part back real quick? I mean, for all the men out there, this
You
is
are a
gonna just
prize.
be look. I'm just gonna put that as a side outtake. Men, you are the prize too.
You're the prize too.
Period.
Period.
And that is not something that's promoted.
That's not.
And particularly for let's just keep it extra real for men of color, like we're at the classified social norm bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
And so we start there and then it's even sometimes it could be received from even our own sisters at times. I'm just gonna go ahead and just make somebody gonna be mad at me, but like, do we really matter too? Because we know you matter. We know
Yeah.
you, queen. A man of faith is gonna know that he needs you.
Right. Right.
From a favor perspective, I always tell men you're gonna be the best 8. Without a woman, you can't be a 10. That's just that's my opinion, right?
Right.
I don't think that you can just be a 10 just by yourself. That's just me.
Uh,
The partnership that has to exist, that's the way that God has structured this. And so we know what we add, excuse me, what you add in our direction. Most of us know. Um,
right.
some
Right.
of us know. Not enough of us know.
Right.
We can look at all those, right?
Right.
But what we don't know from you is that we matter too.
Yeah. We matter too. And now that conversation is being promoted more.
Right.
And what I find is it is somewhat scary to some parts because if I keep you ignorant about who you are, you will always succumb to what I desire. Majority of the point, more than likely you will. Because I caught you because I never told you that yes, you are valuable. Yes, you are right. Yes, your feelings, your thoughts do matter. Yes, there is a reason why you can't say no, that this doesn't fit you. If I keep you ignorant of it, if I keep you always on the hunt, on the chase, trying to satisfy my quips and whims when sometimes they're all over the place and then some, then man, if I keep you in a space where, systemically, especially at the second wave feminism, you're not gonna get the benefit of the doubt. You're not gonna get the shake.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We'll have to bring that back one time about the first and second and third wave feminism. I didn't even know that until you broke that down. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, yes, definitely. So that's what I believe these conversation, and it's so needed because we're helping brothers to say, hey, look, okay, granted, we're in a new day and age or so like that. We're in a new time. Now let's begin to do the things that promote structure, foundation, that teach the generation and the offspring to come that you ain't got to accept everything that comes along with that. A lot of times, man, a lot of us are in some of these situations we married in these places. Why? Because
Mhm.
we didn't know no better. Because we
Right.
had faulty teaching.
And I think that that's very important, even to rest inside of that space of just the faulty teaching, and then just not even. I a lot of times I like to share with women that you were kind of set up for failure in the
Mhm.
aspect, particularly when it comes to emotional for men. And that we were built to be for tough, and don't cry and don't express emotion and all this and that, right? And then we want to go, and this is just for we're gonna categorize the man's man, the manly man, the the we're not gonna go into whether it's streets or whether it's
Mhm.
certain occupations or whatever. We're just going to say overall the high valued man.
Mhm.
So we were taught this, and then we meet you,
Mhm.
and then you influence us to love you. Influence, because we made
Mhm.
the decision to just carry on through with that.
Yeah.
And then now you want to communicate and talk and all this and that. And so one of the same reasons why you're saying men are just now more coming out, expressing themselves or whatever, because we had to shed, in my opinion, we had to shed, and we are shedding a space where we are not talking,
Yeah.
because how we really feel is not getting out,
Huh.
and our narrative is being driven by either the opposite gender, or those that just want to get some dollars and feed into you, the things that you got people that's out here that just put up a post. If a man doesn't love you, then
I
you
don't listen to
you,
that
you
garbage.
should leave him. Oh my gosh, it gets like 100,000 hits. We're just like, wait a minute. He didn't say anything. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's
I don't
you're
listen to
okay
that
with
garbage.
that? Like, why is it 100,000
Listen.
likes on that? And so that's why some people have taken more of a stab lately, because it's kind of like you've put out there so much accountability regarding men, and then whether you were dealing inside of your own demons or not, that's actually understandable. But we're sitting over here like we kind of knew what you were doing, dude, and they didn't know.
It's
um
it's one of those things where I mean, the Bible been around for a while. I like but I first heard the scripture through Tony Jackson, and basically he says, like, it says it was First Peter, I think 3:7. I think so.
mhm,
Yeah, it said husbands dwell with them according to knowledge.
right,
And
right,
I just stopped right there.
right,
Dwell with them according to knowledge. You know,
right.
there's so much that's powerful in that statement. So okay, so if I collect the data on it and I know who you are and I know what you're capable of, I know what you do, I know how to communicate with you.
Okay.
I'm not communicating with you like I'm communicating to Elam. I'm not
Mhm,
communicating with you like I'm communicating to Craig.
mhm,
I'm communicating to you based on who you are and how I know that the message will get across to you in that
mhm,
standpoint.
mhm,
And
mhm.
so when we're doing that, we're finding effective ways to move forward together. That's the crux
Right,
of it.
right,
But if we're not taking the time, and this is a genderless concept, if we're not taking the time on both ends to learn the person that we're with,
right.
then man, we set ourselves up for disaster. So,
And,
case in point,
I,
if you know, and it's like I told you the other day, if you know that your man loves sex,
right,
then why in the world would you play with that right there in your
right.
life?
It- and it just that so goes to even the baseline of just, oh gosh,
Why?
okay, you know what?
It don't make it because that's it's like that's counterproductive. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Well. I want to say this.
Mhm.
I through not only the clients that I've had, but then through extended conversation with some people, there are some that, okay, I'm going to give you a real scenario. All right.
Okay.
Have a friend who she is currently having sexual relations with this guy only because that's something that she feels like that he wants to have, right?
Uh-huh.
And then so my friend was talking to the friend, and so the friend was just like, hey, you do know you're gonna have to maintain this after you are married, right? And
Right.
she was just like, well, no. And she said, well, wait, well, why? She was just like, this you have to do to get married. Afterwards, I can just change. Like, this is a real conversation. And I
Yeah.
was just like, wow.
Yeah.
But I've heard that before, to
Uh-huh.
whereas people do what they gotta do.
Uh-huh.
And in this space of just the relationship portion, because it's kind of like, okay, well, my expectation is that you're going to change, and this goes with males and females. I
Uh-huh.
wanted to shout this out.
Yes.
If we had to look in the space of the pre-marriage area, a lot of times, men marry women for who they are,
Uh-huh.
women marry men for who they can be or who they
Uh-huh.
see them to be, right? And
Uh-huh.
so if that's the space, or that's the thought process, you're walking into this with an expectation of you're going to change, because I just feel like that once we get married, switch goes off, and
Uh-huh.
well, we're forever now, so you change this. There are
Yeah.
people who really think like that.
Yeah.
And so even with that conversation, I was just like, so you're walking into this knowing that you are deceiving the person up
Uh-huh.
front. And
Yeah.
I don't think that they even think about it in a deceptive way. It's just kind of like, yes, like we're having sex 4 or 5 times a week, and we're going to do the same thing when we get married. Okay, well, you know what? On both sides, and we can go whether it's sex, whether it's occupation, to whereas you live here
Uh-huh.
and I live here, you're going to move where I'm at. No. Did y'all really talk about that?
Right.
And now you move where they are, and now you're upset because you're away from your family,
Yeah.
or you're in an area where you're bored at
Uh-huh.
because you expected them to move where you wanted them to move,
Uh-huh.
right? Or they were supposed to get this money or get this promotion or whatever, and they don't do it, and now you're the breadwinner. You never wanted to be the breadwinner in the marriage.
Right.
You expected them to go here and there. And this is just little pieces of tidbits. And I know that there are certain things that you've encountered as well as a therapist. I mean, any that jump out to you that people thought one thing, and when they got into it, they were just like, whoa.
I had one. They said he thought his wife, they dated on or off and on, ex-wife now. And he thought they had the conversations about, building businesses, just taking it by storm, thinking that, she was a boss. The list goes on and on, yada, yada, yada. So then, so then he marries her. And comes to find out, she don't really have that engine in her, that giddy up, that drive. Like I said earlier, that monster that's willing to go get it to really to make them things happen. And so now he's in a situation where he has these ideas, he has these dreams, he has these goals that he wants to fulfill and he wants to go on and take care of. But when he looks to his partner's not there to kind of help him. And it's frustrating. Elam. Uh-oh. He gone.
Nah, man, this thing is buffering a little bit. So I know I was listening to you, but it was
Yeah.
just buffering a little bit. But um, sorry, I just ran another room real quick.
Are you good? But yeah, it was just one of those things where he was bamboozled. He was hoodwinked
Right.
because the person he signed up for is not the person she actually is. That's why I tell people to
Right.
take their time when they
Right.
are dealing with folks.
Right.
Women don't like when I say that. I like when I say that.
Right.
I'm going to judge you by what you do and who you are, as opposed to all this other stuff you're telling me.
Man. I think that the research inside of just, okay, what crop you come out of, who are you, expectations, financial, parenting. Okay, we're gonna circle back on that stuff. I gotta go. I got
Do your thing, man.
gotta get
Do your
off.
thing. Do
What
your thing,
crop you
bro.
come from is so
What crop?
serious.
What right? What crop do you come out of? Is it a good
Uh-huh.
crop or is it a bad crop? Is it a plentiful or
Uh-huh.
man, or is it something that's stale? I mean, again, what are y'all families? Do you come out with a bunch of hustlers and drug dealers or so?
Okay.
Do you come out with a bunch of man haters? Oh my gosh, or anything
Not the
like that?
man
They
haters.
man, they ain't had nothing good to say anything about that. You
Mm.
ain't got to take that. You don't go, or I mean, all these false expectations. Again, what crop did you come out of? What you saw during your developmental years as a
Right.
child growing up?
Right.
You saw your who came in and out the door over and over and over again.
Right.
What crop? I want to know because that directly affects you, the person we have in front of us today. It does, man.
Well, I like to call it ancestral patterns. Right? I like to call it ancestral patterns because it's just a space to where, AKA generational curses, and it's actually something I talk
Oh
about
yes.
inside of, my pre-marriage course is coming out. Are we ready yet? Um, just that was a one sleeper
Uh-huh.
that I didn't know about, of the whole crop thing, and
Yeah.
I'm talking about from me understanding my crop,
Yeah.
right? And then me understanding her crop,
That crop.
right?
Yes.
Because my crop had, some flies and some some, some crickets and some things that just were hopping around on it, just eating away at the crop all these years. And when I look back across, just what has existed, I'm like, whoa, okay. And then I'm looking on her side, like, oh wow, okay, so you got,
This,
ooh,
this, 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 this,
you
this.
know,
Oh,
and
by the way, if you come out of a crop that is plentiful of divorce, that's something, man, to take into
but no,
consideration.
no, but that no, 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 because when we're looking at, generational curses, we got not only divorce, we
Uh-huh.
have addiction, we
Uh-huh.
have incarceration,
Uh-huh.
we have abuse, and that's
Uh-huh.
physical or mental,
Right.
right? And then we have, emotional, right?
Yeah.
So we got the physical. Everybody knows about domestic abuse, physical,
Uh-huh.
putting your hands on somebody, but then there's emotional abuse, and the
I,
prevalence of that area that has been communicated to me over the years in the clientele is that the men experience emotional abuse, right? I've yet to
AK,
have, yeah, the emotional abuse that some men run into. And again, I don't understand my feelings. I'm not into communicating, haven't been taught how to do this. Oh, therapy. Oh, absolutely not. That might mean that there's something wrong, which there's something wrong with all of us, right? So we
yeah,
have to learn to
right.
embrace not only the James Bush of the world, or just those who are, just get yourself some type of coaching and mentoring in the area in your emotional aspects, men. All right, that's something that we need to do. And then, God forbid, based upon our age, how we have to recreate ourselves. And whether we're even in the space of doing that, oh
Yeah.
God, 40. We won't go to teens. We won't even go to 20s. We'll start in the 30-year-old
Right.
man, or 40-year-old,
Uh-huh.
50-year-old, 60. Them
Uh-huh.
jokers, 50 or, like people 40s, we be like
Uh-huh.
that.
Dude,
So,
AKA what you just
sorry.
mentioned on that emotional slash financial abuse. Because you'll have individuals or so that work in 2 or 3 jobs or so like that.
And so they pass that on from a generational perspective. So we have these different areas, these different pockets,
Huh?
um, that, and even early death, right?
Huh?
Even health. And
Huh?
we all know about if you have, God forbid, you have cancer from your great grandmother, your grandmother, you're like tracking that, and people are making certain medical moves and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. Diabetes, or whether it's heart disease or whatever. We think about the health aspects of it. And if Johnny has, blue eyes, then we're like, okay, well, that's my gene.
Uh-huh.
He is really smart. because you were smart, then you want to take. But we have to accept the ancestral pattern, the
Uh-huh.
generational curse that's handed down with us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real. That
And
them
so that's your crop. What
crop.
crop you from? Um, and, we always go like 5 or 10 minutes before we really get into the topic, but that's what this. What crop you from is one of the major things you need to look at when you are dealing with, the pre-marriage area and what.
Heck yeah. I would say so. Very much.
What
I
crop?
would, like, yeah, divorce. Do y'all believe in working things out? Or do y'all believe in bolting at the first sign of trouble?
Right.
Guess what? That goes back into our earlier conversation when I've had amassed this great deal of wealth, done well for myself, went to school, graduated from this school, that school, that school, that school. All of a sudden, I get hooked up with you.
Right.
You was raised, and you was like, look, if he ain't doing this, leave him. If you ain't happy, leave him.
Right.
Okay, boom. So then that. But now it goes that mentality and
Right.
ideology mixes with family law.
Mm.
Family law don't care what kind of crop you came out of. The law is the law.
Mm.
And it says, look, oh, John, guess what?
Ooh, that's a nasty tie back to the previous conversation right there. Like, ooh, that
Say
family
goodbye,
crop
man, to
don't
them
care.
Benjamins.
When in the courtroom, they don't say, "Oh, okay, well, you're from a long line of divorce, so you're probably a higher probability of this, that, or whatever, or you deserve less than this, that." No, it don't look at none
They
of
don't
that.
look at none of that. And see, again, that's
Wow.
why in the premarital phase, and as guys, we've got to do a better job of evaluating these situations. Put the ass down, man, and get your mind together right. Get your
Not put
mind
that
right.
down.
Get your mind right. That's all I'm saying, man. Don't be swoop. Elam taught us what? He taught us. He came on my podcast and told us last about a year ago. 6 months ago. He said the necessity of sex. What happens with the oxytocin that is prevalent in women, the
Yes,
bonding
sir.
hormone.
Yes, sir.
As far as man, oxytocin is available in men as well too, but the one
Mhm.
that is secreted most of is dopamine. That's why you
Right.
have more sex addicts as
Right.
men than it is in women.
Right.
Now, women, I think is what sex does. It bonds us, it connects us. So guess
Right.
what? Well, you could have been beefing, you could have been arguing, you could have been doing all that other kind of stuff. But
Right.
man, you go out there, man, you do your thing, man, you wear it out, you lay it down. All of a
Right.
sudden, I'm feeling a little bit better. I mean, we got some problems still,
Right. Right.
but I'm
Right.
feeling a little bit better
Right.
off that person.
Right. I try to tell these ladies all the time that oxytocin gets you in trouble every time, boy. Orgasms get you in
Every
trouble.
time.
Oh man, we need to get out of here. Oh man, listen, I got stuff to do. Okay, it for the end of the out of this other outtake, right?
Mhm. I'll take it. I'll take
where
it.
can they where can they find you at? You know what? I'll cut and paste it in there. Don't even
Cut and paste it, baby.
worry.
Man,
Hey,
hit
been
me up,
good
fellas.
talking to you, sir, for real.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Um,
Hit me up, man.
uh, I appreciate the. Let me just turn this. Let me hit stop. Let me hit stop.